My name is Sandra, host of Boss Lady Live, where I come to you every Monday night with experts to discuss issues of crime and violence, love and relationships, health and wellness, various different topics that affect us right here in Jamaica. Please like and share and subscribe. Click on the notification bell to be advised when you're on. See you then.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome again to Boss Lady Live, where we speak about things that really matter, things that affect us in Jamaica. And this evening, I get a chance to speak about my passion, entrepreneurship, running, managing your business in these times of the pandemic, running your business in the Jamaican economy, the Jamaican climate, pandemic or no pandemic. This evening we speak to two groups, the YEA, the Young Entrepreneurs Association, and MSME Alliance. Today we speak to Cordell Williams Graham. She's the president of the YEA, and Donovan Wignall, who is also the president of the MSME Alliance. And they both will tell you about these two groups in a minute. So we're giving you a few minutes to get on. We only have one person on so far, but I want to tell you that this evening we're going to speak about what's happening with the small businesses during the pandemic, what has been happening, how has the SMEs pivoted to survive. I can also, we all can give our stories as to how we've survived, and I want your comments as to how you are surviving. I'm hoping that young entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs in general join us tonight and share their stories, or give their input as to how they pivoted. They can't really share their stories, but give little hints and drop little nuggets here and there as to how to survive or what they're doing to survive through this pandemic. Listen, each Monday night that I come, or should I say that myself and my guests come, is really to serve our fellow citizens in Jamaica and to, what I want to say now, the importance of growing a country and having an input, a say. I don't just come on this program, to Boss Lady Live, just to hear myself talk or just to hear my guests talk. I come to share, to give information so that we may improve our lives and improve our situation right here in Jamaica. I can't speak of foreign overseas abroad. We can only speak about our situation right here in Jamaica, right? And so I bring you the experts or the persons who are on the ground that can give it to you as they see it on a daily basis. Because it is important that we all come together as one unit, right? Because singly, we can't get much done. But as a group, and tonight we're going to talk about what it means to belong to a sector, what the sector can do for you, how important it is to share our problems as well as our solutions, because we may have a solution to a problem that can help our fellow brother or sister, or we are all going through the same thing and everybody doing their own thing and we're not getting anywhere because everybody has a piece of the pie to make a solution and nobody's sharing the information. So on this forum, we want to share the information. MSMEs are where it's at now because we have very few big businesses nowadays. We have a few which employ a few, and we have, yes, we have the big BPOs which we're going to touch on, but that only employs mainly young people. So how are we employing the more senior, not necessarily old, but more senior of us in the society? So join me now. Good evening, Ethros. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I'm going to introduce firstly, I'm going to introduce Cordell Williams Graham, PMP. Cordell Williams Graham is the CEO of Transformational Life Solutions, a life and business coaching and consultancy company that has worked with over 300 individuals in Jamaica and the Caribbean and in the United States to achieve their full potential and advance their personal life, careers, and businesses. Mrs. Graham holds a Bachelor's of Economics and Management Studies and a Master's in Computer-Based Management Information Systems with a distinction from the University of the West Indies. He's also an author and internationally certified project manager, life and business coach and consultant, and member of the John Maxwell team. And she'll tell us a little bit more about herself as soon as I introduce her. And then we have with us Mr. Donovan Wignall. And Mr. Wignall holds a diploma in international shipping and logistics, a Bachelor of Science and a master's degree in logistics and supply chain management from the Caribbean Maritime Institute. He has over 25 years experience in his profession, spanning the customs department to present. Right. 17 of those years were spent at a leading telecommunications multinational company where he reached the position of shipping and logistics manager. He now heads his own customs broking and logistics firm, Mertrans International Logistics Limited. He's the immediate past president of the Customs Broker and Freight Forwarders Association, PBFFA. Mr. Wignall headed the association from 2006 to 2008, was re-elected in 2009, and served for another 2 terms until 2011. Mr. Wignall is also the Assistant Secretary Treasurer of the Caribbean Association of Customs Brokers, PACUB, and President of the Micro, Small, and Medium-Sized entitled MSME Alliance. I won't bother to say that other distressing part that you went to KC, because when I see the word KC, it gives me a headache. As a rubber. Welcome to you both. Thank you so much for joining us. So tonight I'm going to start with Cordell. Cordell, as president of, let us just tell us a little bit about your business, and then you can go into your role as YEA president, and what is that group about, and who are the members of the YEA?
Okay, thank you so much for having me, Sandra. Thanks for welcoming me as well, and beautiful introduction, giving that introduction there. So my business, as you mentioned, is a life and business coaching and consulting entity, Transformational Life Solutions. So we work with persons, individuals, and also as companies to help them to strategize and to bring success to whether it is their personal life, their career, or business. So that's what we do in a nutshell. In terms of some of the services that we offer, business planning, strategic planning, training, consulting in all the different facets of your business. And also in terms of, from a personal standpoint, we help persons to develop strategic plans even for their lives and for their careers, and connect them with training opportunities that they can use to advance in their career or their personal life. So that's really what we do in a nutshell. As it relates to the YEA, the Young Entrepreneurs Association of Jamaica is a group of individuals, group of young professional and business persons who have come together to...
What's your age group?
Well, our age range is from 18 to 45. However, we do have many different categories of membership. We focus a lot on helping to develop the sustainability of the sector. So we have persons who are student members, we have corporate members, and we have alumni members. Those are our core membership group. So we have core members from 18 to 45. The student members are persons who are, leaving college and also in high schools, because we do provide training opportunities that help position these persons to transition into full-fledged businesses. And of course, we have persons, alumni who are over 45, who still participate in the network, right? So we are a volunteer group of micro, small, and medium enterprises, and we focus on building the capacity and capability of entrepreneurs to grow personally, professionally, and commercially. And we do this through advocacy, partnerships, and collaboration with our partners, both locally and internationally. And over the past 15 years, through these partnerships and collaborative interventions, we have facilitated a wide array of benefits to our members. So we facilitate access to information. I heard you mentioning how critical is it that you have the necessary information as you transition through the various stages of your business, and as you position yourselves to overcome the challenges that we have. So we have access to information. We provide networking opportunities and access to markets, earning opportunities, particularly through our association with the DBJ. We are a business development organization under the DBJ Voucher for Technical Assistance Program. We also provide mentorship, training, and coaching opportunities, and access to international fellowships through our international connections, and of course, funding. So those are, the ways that we facilitate the growth and the development of entrepreneurs in our network.
Awesome. All right, so I have a little vignette that I would like to play for our visitors at this time. Wow, that looks very interesting. Looks like you travel all over the place, and you're involved in a lot of functions, and you meet the Prime Minister and all of these things. So you have reach.
Yes, we definitely do. Yes. Yes.
And I want to welcome at this time. We have online. We also have joining us Erica Donovan, who is a past president, right, of the YEA. Welcome, yeah. Erica. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Erica.
All right, so next we have, all right, I'm going to come back to you, Cordell. So next we have Donovan. Welcome, Donovan.
Yeah, thank you, Sandra. And of course, even to your viewers and my fellow panelists, after that very impressive introduction and your, what you call it, Sandy? That little video a while ago?
Your vignette, her vignette, yes.
Right, vignette, right. Yeah, very
Yes, because it's a
impressive.
full video, so it's a vignette.
Proper. Thumbs up. But with the MSME Alliance and the YEA is similar in a lot of respect. Of course, we are more of a lobby group. We primarily is a very strong voice in the economy, in the space in Jamaica, lobbying for a better business environment for MSMEs. So we sit at the various levels of government. We have representative at EPA, that's the Economic Oversight Committee. The Partnership for Transformation, we are part of a group called ACON. We are members, sitting board members of the PSOJ. We sit on the JBDC board. And we sit on various other committees that involves dialogue, JAMPRO, the Development Bank of Jamaica, MICAF, all those places having representatives there, looking after the interest of MSMEs, ensuring that whatever legislation that is laid out, whatever discussions are being had about the interest of business people in the country, but specifically MSMEs, we are there with our voice representing the interest of the group. We did some amount of training back in the past, but now I think there are so many people offering training and that kind of capacity building that we thought it not necessary to use our resources in that way, because there are a lot of people in the space doing it, DBJ, everybody, Brands Center, etc., which are actually very good at what they're doing. That's what they have been doing. So we have said to ourselves that let us just be that voice that give the strength in numbers. Once you're a part of us, then you add to the voice. So we, of course, our primary goal, as I stated before, is lobbying for the sustainable interests of MSMEs in Jamaica. Our membership basically consists of mainly associations. So originally we have 35 associations that are part of the MSME Alliance, and every association has a representative. The associations are separated into sectors, and each sector representative is a president of an association. We have a group in the MSME called the affiliate group, and that group consists of individual business people who want to become members of the alliance who are not members of any association. That particular group have one vote. So we do admit individual members, but generally, by and large, we consider ourselves representatives for the entire MSME space in Jamaica, and whatever we lobby for goes to the benefit, redounds to the benefit of MSMEs island-wide. So any issue, whether it's banking, whether it's financing, whether it's capacity building.
And banking, meaning lobby for interest rates and all of these things.
Right, so interest rate, banking fees, the rate of exchange and movement, how you onboard MSME in banks, the KYC requirements, all those are trying to change, transferring from bank to bank, the length of time it takes for money to move. Stuff like that that makes the life of the MSME easier. The tax department as well, we have lobbied for a very long time with the tax department, and all the changes that have taken place there. We were a part of the lobby to make the tax department become a different creature, a more business-friendly department of government that is not seen as that monster that comes to audit you and shut down your business. But if you notice, the tax department is taking a very different approach nowadays.
Right.
Right. So that's as a result of lobby, public pressure in a lot of cases where, it had to change. And a lot of businesses now don't find the tax department so intimidating. The ORC is another place that we lobby for change and continue to lobby for change, because that is the embryo. And of course, the YEA would know of the challenges and struggles we had with the
And the
office of
ORC is where?
the
Remember, we're
office of
talking to a
registrar
lot
of companies.
remember, a lot of persons don't know the acronyms.
Okay. Well, the ORC, after registrar of companies, we're able to register businesses. The single form that they had introduced, where after you fill out the form and you submit that form and you're approved, you get a 3 months TCC. That's one of the lobbies that we did. And of course, we tried to bring tangible benefit back in last year. I think it has stopped now. We're trying to revive it again. We're at the MSME health plan, where we partnered with our insurance company, our insurance broker, to deliver a health insurance plan for small businesses because they're strength in numbers. So coming together with everybody, negotiating good rates for the MSME sector is something that we want to delve in again. We just heard this morning Minister Floyd Morris announcing the health insurance plan for farmers and fisher folk. So I plan to reach out to him to amalgamate and make that pool bigger so we can drive down the rate.
Right. Yeah, because even at my office, it's not, we don't have enough of persons who want to. So they say it's a minimum of 5. So you get stuck because 5 want to do it and the other 10 don't want to do it. So that would be very, very helpful. Extremely helpful. So primarily, you do mainly lobby. You don't really deal with individuals. You deal with groups.
Right. But we do deal with individuals, and we do consider ourselves an organization that represents the interests of the full gamut of MSME across the length and breadth.
And that is a very wide cross section of people because you're saying you start from, you go as low, I don't want to say as low. You go from the pan chicken man
as small as
a one-man operation,
right,
and way up to medium. And medium is normally what, less than 50,000 per. Medium normally covers what again?
All right, so they have a standard definition for medium-sized companies, right? Micro, small, and medium. However, I do not allow myself to be limited by that particular definition because the amount of people you employ and the amount of money that goes to your company that has no bearing on the size of the company. Right, so small companies will go up as far as to any company as big as Public Garden Cream or any company that considers themselves a medium-sized company.
I think the definition goes up to 75 million, I believe. 75 million. Yeah. Yes.
Sales revenue.
Revenue, yes.
But I mean, I don't consider it a limitation because sometimes you have companies that have like a one-man can sit in his basement, make an app and generate $100 million and he's still a small business. So there are anomalies in that can happen, and those people fall out of the group, but then it's a one-man operation just to say.
Mm-hmm. Can I just say, Sandra, I agree with Donovan in terms of his opening statement that the YE and the MSME, we both do the same thing because we do a lot of what Donovan has articulated as some of the results that they have achieved in terms of lobbying. We're also a voice, as you noted in our the video. I'm not familiar with the videos, but as you noted in our promotional video there, we do have a lot of reach and we work very closely with the Ministry of Industry and Investment and Commerce at this time. We work very closely over the years to lobby for a lot of the changes that Donovan would have highlighted just now. So we are a voice. We also lend our voice as an advocate for the MSME sector.
Is there a reason why you formulated a group for young people? Is there a unique is it a unique sector for the young people? Why just the young people?
What's that, Donovan?
I mean, when I inquired about the YA, Sandra, and I heard the age limit, I was very disappointed.
You can still join. You can still join, as you have heard, Donovan, and I will be calling on you, right? so that we can form that alliance, right? So
Absolutely.
in
It's
terms of
been discussed.
why we have targeted young people. The genesis of the YA, it began in 2006. Of course, as young entrepreneurs, when you're just starting out, you lack the capabilities, as we noted,
Right.
professional capabilities and the capacity to grow your business, no matter your age, even at the stage of your business as a young business, right? So
Obviously.
the YA was established to facilitate that sustainability and increase the chances of success of the business. And that was in 2006. And we still maintain that focus today. We are focused on helping businesses to grow their capacity and their capability, to cut costs, to increase their revenues, and of course to grow their business. So that's really our focus still today. And wherever we need to advocate in terms of some of the changes to ensure that this sustainability and we create that environment to foster that growth, then we are on top of that as well.
Yes.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, so it's very, I want to say popular or nice to say. In banks and various different organizations, you have a small business sector. You have a small business desk, and you have a small business list. Is it really working? Is it really effective? Are you seeing any real changes from this whole change in the landscape of banks and various different organizations? Have you seen a lot of improvement?
You want to-
I start. You want to start? Who wants to take that one first? You want to start with that one, Cordell, and then we can go over to Donovan.
All right. So you're speaking specifically to how effective is the associations in terms of serving?
How effective are all these quote unquote small business
Associations.
help? No, not associations. In the banks you go now, everybody's talking about they have a
MSME.
SMEs
Resource
section,
center.
resource center. Everywhere you go, it's popular. It's a new black, right? Because everybody wants to help small businesses, and we are recognized as the way forward. And everybody says that they want to assist us. Are we truly getting help? Are things improving? With the new pandemic, we're going to speak on shortly. We're not new. It's not new anymore because it's over a year old. But how are we being helped? Or are we being truly helped? Or it's just another promotional gimmick?
Okay, that's a very good question.
Yes.
Right? Well, I would want to start with what you said. Are we improving? Right? Because we are nowhere close to where we need to be, but thank God we're not where we used to be, right? I
Awesome.
think the associations, the small business, the MSME alliances, the SBAs and ourselves, YE and others, we have carried that flag for many years in terms of, as Donovan would have noted, advocating for the issues that we all face as small businesses, working closely with the members of our associations to help them to, overcome some of the challenges they face. I think what the pandemic has done, and in about 2015 thereabout, I think that's when everything changed in terms of persons realizing how significant the small business sector was in driving growth. I think that's when the trigger was pulled in terms of saying MSMEs, really are the driving force behind the economy, in terms of us being over 97% of the productive sector of the economy. And so, yes, it's a trend. We do believe it's a trend now. It's the catch tagline,
Catchphrase.
resource center, coming up in the banks, etc. It is a tagline. It's a it's a trend, right?
It's a trend,
However,
yeah.
I think it's a useful trend because we have recognized and we do need the support. So we are encouraged by it. We are forming the various partnerships, and we are trying to ensure that persons are not necessarily duplicating the various functions, but really trying to create that partnership and that collaboration that can help at the end of the day and meet the shared objectives that we have. So from a YEA standpoint, we are meeting with the various banks. We are forming partnerships with, JBDC. We're working closely with the ministry. We're trying to, and also the PSOJ. We are working very closely, trying to pull everybody together in the best way we can to better serve our members. So we're not where we need to be, but thank God we're not where we used to be. That's
Donovan?
perspective.
Well, I have a little bit similar but a little bit different perspective. I think, but I can speak to this because it's something that we've been on as far as our lobby is concerned for change, for
Yes.
meaningful change in how the banks deal with small businesses. And as like you stated, it has always been a sexy term to say we have a SME unit, we have a small business unit, and they pay for some training, etc., etc. But the experience and what they advertise usually do not coincide. And I can
Amen.
give a pardon?
Amen.
Yes. So I can give you practical examples, for example, and it has to do with the KYC term, know your customer term. I've been with a bank for a number of years. That's one bank. I've been with another bank for a number of months and another bank for a number of years. Formed two new companies within the last year, within the pandemic, and tried opening accounts. And one particular bank, and I'm sure members of the viewing public can attest to this, took approximately 5 months to open a business account. And when the account was open, we only could have opened a savings account with the bank. We haven't gotten internet banking yet. We have to jump through all kind of hoops to get our statements, etc. I haven't gotten one statement from the bank yet. I mean, very, very poor customer service. The other bank, we managed to open the accounts, and it was much quicker and everything, but the process is still incomplete. Now I said this to say that if it were a big company, if it were they were Sinkers of this land, the Muslims and the Grace Kennedys, those big companies, the Rare Nephews, etc., D&Gs that wanted to open an account, that would be done in a matter of hours. The difference between us and them is that we are small, and apparently our money is insignificant. And I mean, the banks
That's not true. Because our one cocoa full of basket.
Exactly. They don't like when I speak like this, but I'm speaking based on experience. Now, as far as change and improvement is concerned, the lobby has yielded some fruit where a lot of them now are changing how they onboard MSMEs. They have speeded up the process. They have integrated or scaled down know your customer requirements, not being implemented yet with business customers, but personal customers. And that's another story that I can tell you. But in terms of bank-to-bank transfers, the lobby have yielded some fruit where the bank-to-bank transfers now are happening a lot quicker. So the 2 and 3 days and 4 days that it used to take to see a transfer to another bank, that has significantly improved where transfers are going
the RTGS.
Right, they are going through, majority of the time are going through the same day now,
right,
which is good. They have not advertised it because I figure advertising would have been an admission that there was a serious problem prior to. But the fact that with the lobbying effort, it is yielding this fruit. It's now time has come now, I think, and I think Cordell spoke to it, that we're on the same platform, we represent the same demographic. So coming together to put our voices together, Cordell, is something that probably we're gonna sit down and talk about so in the coming weeks, months, as you suggest, as the pandemic allows. But definitely some of these nuances of the market, nuances of the economy, nuances of treatment, and the idiosyncrasies of the bank that are long-standing grosses. Some of those need to change. Some have been changing. And I think with our voice going to the Bank of Jamaica, we see the introduction of digital currency now. That definitely significantly is going to reduce a lot of the requirements to go into the banks to open an account. You don't even need an account to have a digital account. You don't even need that amount of due diligence on the bank to open a digital account. But it's something new on the horizon, but let's see what happens. But all in all, I think the environment has improved significantly. There's still a far way to go. And I think we should keep up the pressure, keep up the lobby, and encourage the banks, speak of the wins, speak of the successes, praise the banks when they
Do well.
Just to facilitate us, and continue to complain and make up noise about the nuances that are disincentives to small business people to open accounts in banks, and it also helps with formalization. If I can open my bank account and get everything inside here, running my money through the bank because I have a business account, then the incentive is there for us to go even for small business, micro business, the pan chicken man, everybody to go very formal. So I think, as far as the lobby is concerned, we have yielded fruits, and the banks are changing slowly, but we should recognize the wins when we get them.
All right. So to segue from what you're saying, Donovan, I'd like for you, Cordell, to just speak a little bit about the benefits of being word sit me. The benefits of being compliant. Not when it's not compliant, of
Formal. Being formal.
of being formal.
Yeah.
Sorry, of being formal.
Okay, well, of course, being registered and operating formally in terms of, being compliant, tax compliant, submitting your returns, etc. on time, it really opens a lot of doors for you as a business. First and foremost, you would be able to access a lot of the funding opportunities, a lot of the
You always say funding people. Some of these are grants, not
Right.
necessarily loans. These are grants, meaning FREE money that you don't have to pay back, help you to grow your business, to expand your business. These are real monies that sometimes go back from whence they came because they were not taken up. Continue.
Well, grants is one thing. Access, even to be able to participate formally in terms of working in the banks, setting up your getting loans, etc. You'd be able to better position yourself to access loans, also to access contracts through the government procurement system now. Even some of the tax incentives that were put out last year by the government, you would not have been able to access those if you were not participating formally. So, and when we speak to formality, it's not just to register, to go in and register your business, but to actually, file your returns and pay your taxes and to be compliant, right? With all of the requirements of the government. So that's really some of the major benefits that you would have access to. And it's definitely worth the while, even as I said, I think I mentioned to you prior to the start of the this evening that we as an association, some of the benefits that you would even be able to access through the association, you won't be able to join this association if you are not participating formally. And I think formality is something that we have been pushing, not just from a standpoint of getting registered, but also through our training. The training initiatives that we facilitate, we definitely push for persons to participate formally, to operate their business formally, because we know it's critical to growth. It's critical to, measuring GDP, which also redounds to the benefit of all of us as a nation, to be able to attract certain investments from the international community. So it has its benefits, and that's definitely something that we're advocating for.
All right. So okay. So we we are going along 2019. We have our struggles from before 2019 into 2020, and then COVID happens. How is the sector coping? The small business sector coping? You want to take that, Donovan?
Yes, it's a mixed bag, and let me tell you why I said that. The PIOJ figures on the decline in the economy, I think, averaged about 11 to 12% over last year. Um, in the grand scheme of things, in my opinion, and I'm sure others can share their opinion as well, that's not a huge number. I expected greater fallout. Now,
That's true.
new businesses started, and some businesses failed, some businesses contracted. And for the business, a lot more businesses started than the ones that failed because there were opportunities that came up during COVID that didn't exist before. Opportunities in selling related items. A lot of new companies formed,
Sanitation companies.
sanitation, um, companies selling masks, PPE, not just
Can't
companies
get a
selling
glove. I can't get a glove to buy.
exactly stuff like that.
Sold out. Alcohol tripled in price.
All of those. Some the new manufacturing companies came into being, manufacturing hand sanitizers. People start selling hand sanitizer dispensers. People start selling spray bottles. So a whole new economy developed around COVID. Also, we have people who could not go to work or at work found that going out to the stores that were closed during in a lot of times, um, a lot of the times during the pandemic. They took advantage of that by setting up online stores. So you see a lot of young ladies, especially, and they're very innovative with their marketing. They do videos. I see Erica doing a lot of videos. She's online, love her videos, showing her new business and things. They utilize social media, Instagram, Facebook, advertising their wares, and using e-commerce to collect their monies, whether it's by bank transfers or some people have been using the new one, We Pay. I haven't heard any one of them using Figaro, which was the big thing a couple of days ago, but that seemed to have fizzled out. But in general, how they have been coping, I think a lot have benefited. Some have coped very well. In our industry, which is logistics, I've opened a new courier company. I'm affiliated with called Parcel Post. I'm affiliated with a company called Camco Caribbean Manufacturing, company that deals with hotel supplies and um, PPEs, towels, um, glassware, etc. That supplies the hotel. That these items now becomes very highly disposable. So a void, a demand was created that was being filled, that needed to be filled. So the space in the market opened up, and Camco came about. Courier companies delivering goods, and you would have heard about the ends
Food.
platform, right? Ends platform delivering food to the various people. So the small man, that's right, the bikes that deliver. Once he's validated by the police, etc., 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 he now has his own little business delivering food that he gets paid for online via e-commerce. There's no money being exchanged. It's all electronic. Restaurants now are selling a whole heap more food because they're catering to a wider population using delivery and catering. So dining went out the window. So on a Saturday, and for the dinner business, that of course the dining dinner business totally mashed up. So everybody pivoted to delivery. And of course, that's a whole new side of business they got. So people now started ordering a lot more food to be delivered. So even the big companies, the KFCs, the Island Grills, um, Burger King, etc., they all benefit significantly because they are now sending out a lot more foods, no lines inside their place. Of course, the staff work a little bit harder. And of course, you would have seen the government designating restaurants, pharmacies, supermarkets food establishments as essential services. So even during the lockdown, those people can open until 12 midnight. So another set of opportunities again. And of course, there are business people whose business suffered greatly, like people in entertainment. You know, you can't keep anything. And one thing keeping is COVID. So the people in entertainment now have pivoted to online entertainment. So I've been to a couple of online parties. I've been to plays, watching plays online. Those plays are uploaded. A friend of mine has a company. A partner of mine, my partner in Passport is a company called First in Line that specializes in uploading content and something like Netflix, where you pay for the content and you watch whatever you want to watch online. So if there's a party, you can watch it online. If there's a play, if there's an event, boxing, whatever the case may be, the content is loaded up online and you can pay per view. So those are some of the things that are happening now.
How would you say though, and anybody can take this question, how prepared was the small business sector to go online? How good or how bad was it?
I don't know. Cordell, you want to take this? All right, go ahead, Cordell.
Okay, I'll take it. All right, so I do believe there are some gaps there. We're talking about it prior to the start of this evening. There are definitely some capability gaps there in terms of MSME's familiarity with using the online space, in terms of knowing some of the technological the platforms that are of benefit to them. But again, I think this is a great opportunity for us to, there are some certain things that we need to catch and keep from COVID, right? I did write an article about that earlier in the pandemic. I think technology is one of them, utilizing technology to improve our processes, to make our processes more efficient rather. And so I think this is where some of the players need to come in terms of, while we are rolling out some of these platforms and these new technology, that be coupled with a lot of training from the government standpoint. I think that is something that they can do a little bit more of. I know JBDC is very active in the space, but I think pumping some of the support through the associations and other players, and even some of these bank SME resource centers, I think that is one of the areas that MSMEs can truly benefit from training in terms of using technology and infusing technology in their work and their processes. So I don't think we were, to answer your question, Sandra, I don't think we were necessarily very prepared professionally, and as I said, noting the capability skill gaps. But again, as the trend with MSMEs and recognizing the value that this can add and seizing the opportunity in the moment, I think this is where the players need to step up and fill that gap.
Do you think that made a difference between those who are still surviving and those who didn't make it? Their ability to pivot, their ability to understand and to read the market and to kind of shift, or they took too long to shift, or that kind of thing?
Well, I think that is one, could be one of the factors in terms of not having that being technically savvy, could have been one of the factors, but also recognizing that the market has shifted, as you said, paying close attention to where the market is going, and recognizing that to stay in business, it's all about value. If you're not bringing value, then you're really not in business, because nobody's gonna pay or patronize you. So in terms of recognizing that the market is shifting, as Donovan would have highlighted in detail some of the many industry shifts that we experience, but also recognizing that the shift is taking place and shifting the value proposition to address the gaps in the market and to seize the opportunities. I think some persons were delayed in doing that, and I think that is what really contributed to those companies that were not able to survive.
All right, so Donovan, I wanted to touch a little bit on, let's just talk about things now, because we like to talk about what the government not doing, and how Jamaican life hard and all of this. But what are the people who want to start business, whether you call yourself an entrepreneur whether you call yourself hustler, whether you call yourself as the job a side job, are they seeking the information that can help them? Are they actively seeking the information that can help them? Because the information is there, but are they going online, researching the information, applying it to their business, that sort of thing? Or do they need to step up their game?
Well, you don't have a generic answer for that question because some MSMEs, along with their pivoting, had step up their games. So some people, of course, they weren't really prepared for working online. So a lot of businesses had to have a technology refresh. They had to buy new equipment, they had to buy equipment for the staff who wants to work from home. And of course, because of the necessity to utilize more bandwidth, they had to upgrade their equipment to accommodate whatever it is they have to be transmitting back and forth over the internet. That's one set. There's another set that, and I'm talking about the micro level set now. They needed to, and of course, somebody.
And when you say micro, let's explain what you mean when you say micro. The one man show, the 1 and 2, about, it's very small.
Very small, I'm talking about from the pan chicken man, the fry fish man, from the people who sit on the sidewalk coming up. They now have to be using e-commerce are being introduced to e-commerce to ply their wares. Now, one of the major problems that we had that was identified was that some of the people who were selling on their wares were digitally challenged. They had a banger and they received the call, somebody called and make an order, and the person drive up and collected the food. But with, for example, the ENS platform, which is e-commerce national delivery system, which was developed by the PSOJ in conjunction with the government, a public-private partnership, you saw a lot of MSMEs who wanted to be a part of the platform, but it's a platform where you have to go and sign up. So, and some people literally said that, boy, me never know about it, and the Dex card did not include me or whatever the case may be, but it's a situation where you have to include yourself, you have to go to a website and sign up and all of that. So I suppose some work needs to be done in the marketing. But generally, as far as the whole COVID and the whole institution of technological solution is concerned, every single business, no matter how big or small it be right now, every interaction that you do with the tax department has an electronic version to it now. The ORC, Officer Registrar of Companies, Transport Authority, all online now. The Customs Department, absolutely 100% online. You do not bring any documents down there. And a lot of these places, government buildings, government tax office, everything, government institutions have now gone to digital, the introduction of digital transactions where you do not have to go into the different places to transact your business. And this is one of the benefits of COVID, one of the opportunities that presented itself, and we cannot go back when COVID is gone. I suppose it has really caused a lot of the institutions that we have to interact with, both public and private, to move light years ahead of where they were, because that is the only way to do business in this dispensation where contact is at an all-time minimum. Nobody wants to see in your place if you don't have to be there. And every payment, every document that you have to submit, every kind of interaction is either email, e-payment, electronic submission, and basically everything will be covered under e-commerce. So I think all in all, if you're not there, you have to get there. And whosoever, my grandmother always said, if you have raw meat, you have to seek the fire, and you cannot lead the horse to the water. You can lead the horse to the water, but you can't force them to drink. And in this case, the water is there, and the fire is there, and whoever needs to get their meat roasted and to quench their thirst have to find their way to the source to sort those things out.
But that is
I
just
think I
one.
want to add.
Go ahead.
I just think I want to add to. I think yes, MSMEs do have a responsibility to, as Donovan said, seek the fire for the meat, right? And you did mention that you can't lead. You can lead somebody to the water, but you can't force them to drink. But I think that's where the leadership will come in now. Again, the players in the space and all those who have taken this great interest now in the space. I think that is where the collaboration again needs to come together to fill the gap, the knowledge gap. I think as we are rolling, there's a lot of things happening. There's a lot of online events, giving information, like even this one. But in terms of bringing all of that information together, I think that is where we can all come to the table and collaborate as to where we can bring the information together to facilitate greater access to this knowledge, Sandra, so that persons have the knowledge at their fingertips. So because sometimes genuinely, especially in the microspace, people don't know what is happening and they don't know where to go. Yes, they can seek the fire, but with so much going on, especially now, I think it is important that as the leaders, as we are leading people to the water, that we bring the waters together in a clear way so that people can take the necessary initiative to advance their business.
Yes, and just to add to that quickly, if you allow me, Sandra, the information that you put it out via website, via social media, everybody's on WhatsApp, via radio announcement, advertising, and in forums like this, as you stated. For example, the PSOJ has developed, and I keep mentioning the PSOJ because I consider myself a partner. I'm a member there, but a lot of the stuff that they developed, we were a part of the dialogue and had an input. So we got the information and we put it out there. Small business portal. Every single grant, every single loan, every single type of facility that was offered by the government for small businesses is on that portal. How you apply for, how you open accounts, where you can go to get information, get help, all of those things. The different government
This is the PSOJ,
portal.
The small business portal.
I think it's www.smallbusinessportal.com. JamaicaSmallBusinessPortal.com. I've never ever seen a time when there was so many training courses, online webinars. We just had the Go Digital conference. I think the PSOJ partnering with ourselves, and I think the YEA was in there as well. Partnering to provide, gigabits of information on business and what you can do, and presenting ideas, new ideas, how people can do everything. It was all there. Yeah. The JBDC has webinars. The amount of information.
My question to you is, I don't know if they have a way of telling how many persons took up this offer. Are the entrepreneurs taking these advantages of these free online courses? What is the uptake on it? Are persons tuning in? Are persons signing on? Are persons seeking the advice? That's what I'm asking. Do you have any numbers on that?
Well, in terms of the numbers, I think that will be measured by the various facilitators of the events, okay? But I think this is where the associations come in, because we are consistently liaising with the entrepreneurs on a day-to-day basis. So in terms of, yes, they may not attend every event, but in terms of pulling the information together and facilitating that consistent access to the information, I think this is where the entrepreneurs should do themselves a service by joining associations, and so that they can stay connected to information from everywhere. Because it did mention, Donovan, about the PSOJ's platform, but there are a myriad of other things going on, not outside of that, outside of the government.
What is your membership like?
In terms of our membership?
Yeah, what are your numbers like?
Well, right now we have approximately 200 active members in our network, right? So
And we have about how many, yeah, if do you have any idea the amount of small business, well, small to medium sized businesses? I'm just trying to get a feel
yes,
of
we well, I don't have the specific figures in terms of small versus
just
medium,
as
etc.
close as possible.
Right, but we do have, as I said, approximately 200 members in our network, and we have persons operating in approximately 25 industries. As I mentioned earlier, I think our average age is 37, so 37 years old. In terms of the size of the businesses, I would say potentially over 45% are between micro and small, and the rest are medium-sized enterprises, right? So that's
She froze a bit.
Yeah, Cordell has frozen. But
Yes,
just
all
to,
right. I just until she comes back up. What is your experience from your end? Do you find that you have a lot of okay,
well,
she's back.
I
Yes,
was
you were saying.
giving, right, I was giving the statistics. I'm not able to, because this is something actually in COVID that we use the opportunity to build out our capacity, our capability rather, to produce the numbers. So it's in the Genesis now, so I'm not able to speak to the breakout specifically in terms of small versus medium. So I don't really want to, give that
Well, not even so
information.
much small versus medium,
But
I was trying to look at if we have, let's say, 1,000 businesses, do we have at least 50% that are joining that is at least affiliated with at least one organization? I'm just trying to get
I
a
can't
feel
give that
of
broad, but that is something I think where collaboration, as Donovan noted, comes in. I think the silos is one of the gaps that we need to fill, right? Not only among the associations, but as I said, I keep saying among all the players. I think it is very important that we now come together and use the opportunity to come together to fill the gaps. So data, dearth of information, a data-driven approach to the sector is something that we have struggled with, and I think as we become more driven by technology and pulling all of those data sets together, I think it will tell you a better story, Sandra, in the
yes.
future. This is an
I just
opportunity that we must seize.
the reason why I keep on saying it, not that I necessarily want to have the exact number, but I just
Right.
need for persons to understand. And I'm because I'm speaking from someone who has been in business for 26 years, and I
Right.
could not survive if I did not form alliances.
Right.
Alliances with
An
JBDC,
association.
association with JBDC or Jamaica Spa Association, or even when they had the clustering at Jampro, or you get so much information.
Exactly.
Even the banks, you enter this competition and the banks give you so much training and a lot of these things. And these things are, I don't want to call them free. They're free, but should I call them free? It
free to the
It's
participants.
free.
complimentary.
It's compliment. I want to
It's
call it compliment.
sponsored.
Free son, free son,
Sponsored.
like it's a giveaway.
Yes.
Because
It's a
if
giveaway to
you're
the
not yet in the
MSMEs.
system, you don't get a chance to take advantage of these things. So let us use the word complimentary, right?
But again, Sandra, I want to answer.
Yes,
I think I see where you're going, and I think it's
yes,
something that is a struggle because
yes,
in interacting consistently with MSMEs on a daily basis, I think
yes,
confidence is something that a lot of MSMEs have struggled with. Donovan highlighted some of the challenges as well that the banks, not being very responsive over the years to the needs of MSMEs. So this glass ceiling that was there before has kind of, it's I don't remember the story where was it the ant that was trying to get through somewhere, and everywhere don't remember the story, but just let's say an ant is trying to
Yeah.
go through something, right? And every time you try, there's a block. Eventually, you're gonna feel like it's not accessible. So some of these things that are out there that you say are free and are available, sometimes people just believe they are not able to access some of these
Yeah, but
things.
some people
So
really don't seek the information. That is the
that is
truth.
one. That is
Some
one.
people don't seek the information, and some people listen to the wrong persons.
Persons,
They
right,
don't
right,
ask the people, one, who is in their field, what's
right.
happening in their field,
Yes,
right? They listen to hearsay, and
yes,
the person got it from like a third or fourth party.
right,
So they don't really go to the source. So
right.
that's why I'm trying to, because a lot of times you save yourself either some money or time or effort. It's because you made a connection with like a you or a Donovan or someone who is already in the business. And there's also a notion that persons who are already in business don't want to help you or don't want to see you succeed. That is not true. Some of us help willingly and give advice freely. Many
Right.
of us.
Mm-hmm.
And so persons need to, I mean, don't, a lot of persons operate from fear, and
Fear.
fear cripples. And I know because I've been there, right? So it's not because all of us are here now, but some of us need to tell our stories so that people understand that it's not just a stroll in the park. We don't just get up every day, one day, and we're suddenly successful or we suddenly get it. It's because persons sometimes held us by the hand, or we went to a meeting, or we went to a seminar, or we went somewhere and got the information, and we asked questions, and we were able to better navigate the situation and came out on top. And many of us broke our toe many times, right? So the pandemic, I find that the pandemic was one of these things that if you weren't prepared, whether prepared, have a little something put down, or had a structure in place where you could easily pivot, or you had a go-to person where you could have asked two questions, or you were actively seeking the advice. Those were probably the persons who had much more challenges, apart from the fact that some of the businesses just was not pandemic friendly, like entertainment, because anything that draw crowd, you were shut down in essence. The restaurants, you were, so you, I mean, you really have to have a sideline or something right away to kind of jump and bounce back, which we know that, I mean, we Jamaicans were on top where entertainment was concerned. So a lot of people were caught off guard. But I want to, because I come up on a lot of, I think you use the word suspicious. Some persons are suspicious where persons are concerned, or banks are concerned, or any entity. Because sometimes you may have a conversation and say, well, you know, I'm going to do so and so. You know, they may take your business model and run with it. And you can't always operate like that. As you said, you know, give it a thorough checking out, ask questions. You know, is it a hurry come up? You know, scamming is big now. So I mean, you know, you could be, people are afraid of being scammed. So the bottom line, why I wanted both of you to speak, is that we are safer in numbers.
So,
We are safer as a group. We are more educated as a group. There's so much information to be had as a group. And even if you are fearful, push out your head. little bit at a time, because you cannot stay in a place of fear. You cannot stay in a place of fear because you will go nowhere. So with that said, that was my little speech. So with that said, I want you now to say, what are some of the best practices that you can speak to businesses, that they can help themselves to weather this storm? Some of the best practices that you have seen working in other businesses. It doesn't matter what sector, because systems are systems, really. So what are some of the best practices that you can say is really helping persons to navigate this pandemic? You want to start, Cordell?
We're not hearing Carter.
Not hearing you. Unmute. Click. Yes.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so some of the things that I definitely believe MSMEs can do. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
All right. Some of the things that I think MSMEs can definitely do coming out of this pandemic, and what I've seen working in some of the businesses in terms of, as I said, value proposition. Definitely looking at what value you're adding um, to your customers and ensuring that you are consistently enhancing on your service delivery and enhancing on your products, your product offerings, right? So continuous improvement is something that we shouldn't wait for a pandemic to drive us into, okay, what am I going to do different, or what am I going to do to serve the needs of my customers? I think one of the other things that MSMEs have done in this time is to keep in contact, so that customer relationship management is also critical in ensuring that you are sustainable, right? So in terms of that's something that was very critical during COVID, but it's definitely something, as I said, that we need to catch and keep going forward. Keeping in contact, knowing your customers, knowing your clients, their goals, and how you, and aligning that now to how you can better serve your customers. One of the things that you mentioned, Sandra, in terms of having something put down is another very critical, thing. Financial
Are you hearing me?
management. Is somebody talking? Getting this right. Right. Financial management is very critical. Knowing your numbers. One of our great accountants in our network, Sirika Maga, I must mention her.
Yeah.
In terms of some of the trading that she has delivered, one of the things is know your numbers. Know what's driving your business, where your expenses, and ensuring that you're able to cut those at any time, and ensuring that you're not having excess expenses that are unnecessary. So that is something outside of a pandemic that businesses definitely need to continue with. In terms of business continuity, ensuring that your processes are sustainable. It is doing a lot of scenarios, looking at your business, what if scenarios, and really checking the sustainability and the resistance of some of your processes. Definitely key. In terms of your revenue streams, a lot of persons had to pivot, and suddenly they realized that they could pivot, right? And create new products and services. That is something that we should be doing, consistently. It's not just about pivoting. That is something that is the lifeblood of any business.
Absolutely.
Partnerships are critical. We have flogged the issue to death tonight of the strength in numbers, and ensuring that we are collaborating and working together. I think we saw the value of that in COVID, being able to keep going, knowing what's happening, getting access to the information. So partnerships, even in your industry, is critical. Getting connected, you know, in our video there we say get connected, stay connected, and we don't mean that only from an association standpoint, but as you said, Sandra, working with people in your industry, that is so critical. It helps you outside of a pandemic, that can help you to gain access to opportunities, can help you to negotiate for contracts, etc. So sharing and collaborating, you know,
Building relationships.
building relationships is going to be critical. And also some of the things that, you know, embracing change, you know, being able to embrace change, knowing that nothing lasts forever, and being flexible and agile in terms of the way you operate your business, and being open to change is critical for
Absolutely.
business. So those are some of my 2 cents there in terms of some of the definitely.
Donovan, you have anything to add?
Well, she said it all. I mean, that's something I could record and play back every morning. To set it straight. Right, Cordell?
What's
But
that?
just to reiterate, you have to be in touch with the business. You have to know exactly what works and what doesn't, and discard what doesn't, improve on what works. Know your numbers, as she stated. Follow the money. If it's making you money, then it makes sense. At the end of the day, what you want to have is a business that grows. You don't want to stay at the one level all your life. You don't want to remain a small business all your life. So every opportunity to grow, every opportunity to get information is power.
Right.
So whatever information you can acquire to
Yes.
educate yourself and to improve your business, then definitely go after it. And one thing I can tell you during this COVID period, there's no shortage of information. So,
That is certain.
And free information.
Yes.
absolutely. So, as the
Free
last
information, because a lot of these seminars are free.
Right.
absolutely free. 800 participants on the last one. I think that's a record-breaking one. That was
Right,
the Go Digital conference. But
right.
generally, just be in touch with the business, know what you're doing, and try and make a success and look for opportunities in every single catastrophe. There's an opportunity. It might sound a little bit, but there's always opportunity. For COVID, the amount of opportunities are represented in COVID. I'm sure
And,
for
you
every area.
and Donovan, you had touched on that a lot of businesses started in COVID. And we need to understand that some of these businesses won't be forever.
Exactly.
There's a time or a lifespan to these businesses.
Yeah,
So you won't need masks forever. So you have to plan accordingly. So
Right.
this is just a temporary fix, and you milk it until it's done. And then maybe when that period is over, then you open up yourself to something else. I want us to touch quickly on 2 things. The word that is always bantered about now is our new norm. I don't think our normal is going to ever be that normal that we know. So I think it's our now normal going forward. I don't think a lot of things are going to change. A lot of more persons are going to be working from home. So what is going to be happening to all of these block and mortar businesses?
Let me just jump on that. I think what has happened over the past 18 months, it is or more, is that if you check Instagram, you would have seen, and it's mostly females and female entrepreneurs, makeup, clothes, shoes, all moved online. Everybody knows now a fashion consultant. Everybody knows a model. People are modeling their own clothes. The new normal is that you find opportunity wherever it lies. Utilize what you have. People have a telephone in their hand and they don't know how powerful this instrument is. I say people make entire videos, make entire ads. People who are in real estate walk inside a property and do a video, believe any professional made the video. So you have to use what you have, make the best of what you have. The new normal is that you look for opportunities. wherever you can find them during the pandemic and try to grow yourself out of whatever you had lost during the formative stages of COVID. If you do that and do it successfully and you survive during this pandemic, then you'll be stronger when it ends, and that is gonna be in another couple of months when everybody gets vaccinated.
I
I
just
just
wanted
want to
to,
add
yeah.
also in terms of the new normal, that the new normal is innovation and consistent transformation, right?
Yeah.
And as Donovan said, looking for opportunities. I do also want to emphasize the importance of your people as MSMEs, that those who survived were those who had innovative people, innovative team members who can think outside the box. And I think as Jamaicans in particular, we have that trait. That is one of our, strongest traits as Jamaicans. We are very innovative. We are able to see the opportunities. And I think inside, outside of COVID, long after COVID is gone, I think the innovation is what will keep us going and keep us sustainable as
And I
business.
think also from my personal experience, it also made you know who is on board, who is working with you. You have to trim the fat because there was no room for fat. You
True.
know, you had to trim the fat. You had to deal with the persons who were on board working with you and who was dragging you. Unfortunately, you just have to cut them loose because there was just no room for that. Because you're either with the program or you're not. And I think so. I think a lot of persons are operating now on a leaner, meaner um, platform. If you ask me, that's to me that's my experience. You know, because you really have to be on top of things right now.
And as I said before,
Yeah.
Sandra, in terms of change, being open to change and being able to move with the times. Yes, as things change, you're innovating, you're adding value. That's what is going to keep us going.
What is your view on the BPO sector, Mr. Wignall?
All right, so everybody is calling the BPO an MSME. Not really an MSME. BPOs are very big businesses that work for multinational companies. They occupy what I call the very top end of the um, MSME sector, top medium, and graduating to large. Now that sector, and I think our preamble to this meeting, you would have stated that probably it's temporary and comparable to the 807 days, if you hold free
That's
zone
my
days.
fear. That's my fear.
Huh?
I'm not somebody that does fear a lot, but it just seems quite similar.
Yeah, well, it is far from similar in the sense that it's a significant amount of investment those people make here. And if you see some of the buildings that were built just to facilitate BPOs, you know that there are some long-term investment in there. And even with the potential for scamming, a lot of the companies that are outsourcing the businesses that are taking care of BPOs find that there's something special in Jamaica, or how the Jamaican handles um, their queries. And in so doing, that is a product that has a Jamaican brand on it. But of course, there's always the threat of them moving elsewhere. But I think if we continue to facilitate and provide what we're providing them now, if the legislation don't change like how it did with the 807s, then we'll see them around for a very, very long time. Of course, you know that BPOs are special entity free zone units where they get duty free entrance. Every single BPO is treated as a free zone. So they pay no duties on the goods that they import to work with. And of course, some of them, um, they are not unionized, etc. But the staff, I think, are paid pretty well. But they get some special facilities, and if those continue, I think they'll stay them around for a very long time.
Okay.
I want to add to that response, though, Sandra, in terms of your fear. I think one of the issues that have plagued the BPO sector is limited access to human capital, right? And I think, again, that is something that we, in terms of access to information, and I think as a preamble to even us coming on tonight, that is something that we spoke about, Sandra, in terms of knowing where the human capacity, capital gaps are in Jamaica, and giving that access to information to all Jamaicans so that we know how we can improve our value added to the economy. Because
Right.
yes, there have been investments, yes, the BPOs are incentivized, but if they don't have access to the labor, then that is a risk of to the sustainability of the sector. So that is something that we definitely can address there. And I think customer service, just the very fabric of Jamaicans, in terms of our love and our care and our dedication to excellence, I think is makes us a good ground for the growth of the BPO sector in this part of the Western Hemisphere. And so we need to definitely pay attention to training in the area, in the areas where there are gaps, to fill the needs of the BPO sector, and being able to do our workforce planning, our strategic workforce planning as a nation. And that is something that, from the national standpoint, that needs to be looked at.
I was doing some research before, but I didn't get a chance. Well, I should have said, should I say I got some information just prior. I was able to look at it just prior to the show. So I'm going to leave it. I have to digest it because it's a lot of information. So I'm going to leave it for another time. But my concern was the connection between school leavers and being connected to where they are needed, or the areas that are, should I say, where the gaps are. A lot of persons come out of school as a lawyer and have no work.
Right,
They come out of school with their degrees and have no work.
right.
So I am wondering if there is a conscious effort being placed on. Well, I know they have career day and all of that. Because I was speaking to one of the vice principals today of our school, and he was saying that they do that at his school, where they look at areas when they invite a lot of people on career day, and the people go around and they talk to them, and they talk um about what all of these different careers entail. However, he used information from overseas. He used research that was done from overseas, and I'm saying well, not everybody can travel. So how do we know what the gaps are in
Right.
in Jamaica? And I spoke to someone at PIOJ, and I spoke to someone at Statin. So I'm going to do a little deeper research. I didn't get a chance to dig deep. And so before I open my mouth, I want to make sure that I'm on top of that information before I go into that. So down the road, I will have another show with all of that information and see how we can best let the young people know. Well, this is a lot of information. It's actually speaking to it. A study that was done by heart. So I am going to possibly invite maybe PSOJ, and they can speak to it, and how we connecting the dots.
Okay.
So tonight, I just want to say thank you so much. It's been an hour and a half. Can you believe it? It's been an hour and a half and of excellent information. And I want Donovan, how can we get involved with the MSME Alliance? How can we reach you? How can we join? How can we become a part of it? How can we seek the knowledge and be a part of the change?
All right, our onboard process is fairly simple, and you can be any business anywhere. You can join. If you are the head of us, YA, you can become a member, just like how we can become, well,
That's
hopefully we
what I
can
was
become a
going to
member
say.
of the YA. And our website drives, and we do a little data collection. So you can go to our website, just click on register, put in your details, your name, telephone number, etc. You become a part of our database. You become a member, and you get your membership certificate. It's as simple as that. Onboarding process, very easy.
And your website is?
www.themsmealliance.org.
Is
Let's
there a
go.
secretariat? Is there a number?
So here is the pivot now for the MSME Alliance. Our secretariat is virtual. We
Okay.
we in terms of we have learned in the past that a physical secretariat is a very expensive thing to run. So therefore,
Absolutely.
right. So our secretary assistant is online somewhere else, you're nowhere near us. And our website collects the data. We use the technology to communicate, and of course, we have a very huge WhatsApp group that once you're a business person, you can join. And of course, as you join, you will get information up to the minute, up to the date information as far as any changes with government, any changes with the tax office, any new thing coming out of the government. Once information is shared, it's put into that group and shared across the platforms in every other group that we're
And I
a
can
part
attest to that because I'm a part of that group. And
of.
it's
Okay.
really full of a lot of information.
Yes. So information is key.
So there's no number. If I wanted to get in touch with you, I just go on the website and
Yeah. Yeah.
go
The
into a
contact numbers
contact.
are, yeah, we have a telephone and you can call the telephone number, but to be honest with you, people rarely we
Oh,
like ministers and so call the numbers, but whenever they want to get in touch, um, it's usually WhatsApp. I mean, it is so connected that everybody knows where to find us. But
okay.
the MSME Alliance number, um, I don't have the number here. As I said, I don't
Yep.
know it out of my head.
Mhm.
But everything is on the website, the www.themsmalliance.org, the contact telephone numbers, which will ring. Even though it's a virtual secretary, you still have to maintain the numbers. And you are asked to register when you go to the website.
Is there a membership fee?
There's absolutely no membership fee. We, because of the lean type of organization, we try to bring benefits that members are willing to pay for. So in the future, there's going to be subscription benefits. So for example, you subscribe to your subscription, you can log on to HR, accounting, etc., and get your training, etc. So we'll engage, the model was to engage um, private sector professionals, have them be a part of the subscription-based learning. So if you have a set fee per month, and you can log on, get your accounting package, or get accountants, you can get the HR kit, you can get the business kit, you can get the business continuity kit, stuff like that. So
Right.
that is where we're going, that is where we're looking. So the other stuff everybody else is doing, they're providing training, they're getting multilateral money to the various things. What we want to do is our powerful communication tool that spans the length and breadth of Jamaica. The 14 parishes have contacts and have a demographic that we can communicate to in an instant.
Awesome. Cordell?
Okay, maybe you want to play our video again for
Yeah, I
those who
will.
may have missed it.
When we're heading out, I will play it
But
again.
yes, you can close out with that. However,
Yes.
persons, it's very easy to join. You can visit the yeajamaica.com. That's yeajamaica.com, or you can call 876-825-4028 or 470-4179. And it's very simple. Once you go on the website, you can click join and choose a various type of membership, as Donovan pointed out several times. Even if you're over 45, you can join from 18 to you say when, you can still be a part of the YA. We do have a membership fee, right? However, and that is because we have so much value that we have packaged. Not that Donovan doesn't have value, no, that's not, I'm not throwing a low blow, right? But we have concentrated specifically on the individual, and so we have so many opportunities, as I mentioned: training, fellowship, international fellowship opportunities, networking opportunities to earn, and we are still building on that even as we speak. So there is need for contribution, because it's from the dues that we are able to add all of this value.
Absolutely.
So we do have a membership fee, but we do have payment plans available for those who are interested in joining. So you can always visit the website and give us a call, send us an email. All the information is there as to how we can help you to grow personally, professionally, and commercially. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And with that, let me just add my little 2 cents. So whether you are a pan chicken man, whether it is that you are just starting out your business, a small business, whatever you think it is, I am asking you, from a person who started very, very small with a 1-chair one barber chair, 1 manicure chair, 1 bed. Do not call your business a hustle. It is a business. Treat it as such. Treat it as if you are going to live off of it in the future. So you're building, right? Seek the knowledge. Ask persons, seek mentors. Ask around. Persons are willing. And if you get 100 no, you will get 1 yes. Maybe you're asking the wrong places. Educate yourself. There are a lot of online courses, a lot of online information. As we're speaking about earlier, there's a lot of online seminars that disseminate a lot of information. Spend the time to learn. Make yourself flexible and be able to pivot, right? Listen, there is no business that is foolishness. If it's making money, if it can make money, you just think about making multiples of that money. How can you expand? How can you multiply that $1? Take your business seriously. I'm speaking to the barbers. I'm speaking to the hairdressers. You are in a multi-trillion-dollar business. People in food, people love Jamaican food. So till as they come down and touch down, they want to eat something Jamaican. Our jerk chicken is world over. Till them are selling jerk rice, because the word jerk is such a big deal. So understand what it is as a country. What we have is valuable. As it hairdresser, spas, all of these, we can all go into a melting pot of a wellness destination. You don't know. Here, everybody going natural. We have all these things that they put in products, papaya, all these things that we can grow. Turmeric is big. All these products that we have, some of these things that grow wild. I hear ganja shot the other day, right? All these things. What are we doing as a nation? Are we taking this thing seriously? Are we taking ourselves seriously? Government can't do everything. We have to push ourselves. We have to seek the information. If we are serious, best believe the government will have to get serious. That's how I see it. Because we, contrary to popular belief, we are the ones who hire them. Without us, government makes sense? Right? No, we run things, you know. We run things, but we have to be serious about it. I am here to stay. I will be here to turn out the light. I am not going anywhere. I'm not migrating. And in a conversation that I had today with one of my principals at work, is that a lot of students are migrating because when they leave school, they cannot find a job. We have to stop looking jobs and be creators of jobs. We have to become employers. And if you are an employee, you have to do your best. If it's even a job that is in the meantime, you still give it 100% because you are a brand. You are a brand. And so if I say Sandra Samuels do something, Sandra Samuels' name must be excellence. So thank you for joining us tonight. It was our pleasure again. Thank you, Cordell Williams, Graham of YE, President of YEA. Thank you, Donovan Wignall, MSME Alliance President.
Please remember the video.
Yes, man. On my way out, I will play your video again. And this is my passion. I'm very passionate about not only managing and owning a business and being an entrepreneur, but I am very passionate about getting to the 2030 vision. What does that mean? How do we play a part? How do we become a part of it? And it being realistic and not just talk. Let us join hands together, work together, and become the Jamaica that we all know we can be. All right, so good night.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. See you next.
She went. Cordell? Sandra has gone.
I'm so sorry. In my enthusiasm, I clicked. I have a touch screen, you see, and I touched inadvertently. So as I said, good night. Look like Donovan is gone. I just want to say good night. Take care. See you next week. It was a pleasure. Thanks again, Cordell. Thanks again, Donovan.
Thank you.
Next week, same place, same time. With another interesting topic.
Okay then. Bye.
No way out.
Thank you, Sandra.
Very good. You're welcome. Good night.
Bye.